Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Anna, and today we're going to go through my top eye products for 2024. We're going to be talking eyeshadow palettes, brow products, liners, crayons, mascara, all the things I like to put on my eyeballs and in my eyebrows. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the favorites of 2024. But before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know down below, what are your favorite eye products from 2024? What mascaras did you love? Eyeshadow palettes, single eyeshadows, eyeshadow crayons, mascara, brows, whatever it is. Let me know your favorites down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, let's start with brows because I only have two things to talk about there, and we can get that out of the way. So first up is the Lottie London Mega Brow Shaping Wax. This, you want some stronghold, not moving eyebrows, like soap brows, laminated brows. They're going to be locked in for the day. This is the one right here. It dries clear and it really locks them in place and truly wears all day. It is one of those kind of dry waxes. You add a little bit of your setting spray to it or water, brush it through with a little provided spoolie. It's a great little brow product and worth mentioning, and it's also really affordable, and yeah, locks the brows in all day. Next up is the Infallible Brow Lamination from L'Oreal. This locks in brows for 24 hours. This is my new one because I have gone through one already, and yeah, this is good. This is really good. It has the tiniest spoolie, super easy to get in there and lock the hairs in. Very long wearing. You can do the laminated effect with it or not. It's very versatile and one of the nicest brow gels from the drugstore by far. This is a good one. And I don't have it on hand, but I want to mention the Maybelline Brow Pen and Gel Maybelline Build-A-Brow. That's what it was called. The pen on that was fabulous. The brow gel that came with it was fabulous. Very similar to this brow gel, in fact. The only downside to it was that the gel ran out way too fast. Like, I used up the gel way before the pen. The pen lasted a long time, but I got some great brows with that product, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Even though it's not the #1 top tier product, it's more of an honorable mention, but it was really good and I very much enjoyed it. I just wish it kind of had lasted a little bit longer. Anyway, the L'Oreal brow gel though, a 10 out of 10. Alright, so let's talk about some mascaras. My #1, I think, for 2024 is the Lash Paradise in Latte Brown. It's beautiful. It is the perfect kind of softer brown mascara. It's great for every day, for a softer look. If you have blue eyes, this is wonderful. This is a 10 out of 10. And the formulation is, of course, amazing because it's Lash Paradise. It's one of the best formulas at the drugstore. Hands down. It's one of the best formulas, period. And yeah, this shade of brown was so, so pretty. It is just so soft and delicate and still very glam because the mascara formula is very volumizing and full and fluttery, but the lashes just weren't too much. It was great for every day and just for a little bit of a softer look. If you're into the clean girl aesthetic, that was a good one. And it was just very, very pretty. Great dupe for the YSL brown mascara that everybody was going nuts over. Next up is the Make It Double from Hard Candy. This is a really cool, innovative mascara. I like the wand. It is a really, really interesting wand. You have on one side a comb and on the other side more of a brush, and it gives volume and length. It is really cool. It doesn't get clumpy. Great wear time. It's not waterproof, but it is long wearing, and I didn't experience any flakes or anything like that from it. And I just thought it was such an innovative product with the wand and truly volumizing and lengthening. Just a really standout mascara product. So it had to make the favorites for the year because it was just a really good one. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. And it's something really kind of different and cool and worked. It was a gimmick, something that seemed gimmicky that actually worked really well. And lastly, I have two primers that I really enjoyed this year. The Get a Grip primer from Hard Candy as well. This is a really good one. It doesn't get clumpy or anything on you. It just gives nice length. It allows the mascara over top to be a little bit more true to color. Like if you're using one of these brown mascaras or a colored mascara, this lightens the lashes just enough to allow the color to show a little bit more. So that's really nice if you have dark lashes. It also gives really great length and some nourishing and conditioning, and it increases your wear time of the mascara also. And yeah, it was a great lash primer. I very much enjoy it. It takes a minute to dry, so I would apply that, go ahead and fill in my brows, do whatever, then go back to do my mascara, because that's one that it wants you to apply after it's dry. Whereas this next one, the Winky Lux First Swipe, this one you can go straight in with your mascara. It's a bit of a drier formula, a little bit more wispy, and kind of a thicker formulation. Still doesn't get clumpy, builds incredible volume. Also has some lash care ingredients within. It looks really cool in the lashes and gives incredible volume. Plays well with all these other mascaras I've mentioned, as well as the Winky Lux mascara that is marketed with it. So yeah, this wonderful primer. If you're looking for a drugstore lash primer, something that can compete with the high-end ones like the Lancome one, those two right there, though they're each different and offer something a little bit different, they're both phenomenal options. Let's talk about some liners. I have 3 formulations that I want to mention from this year that I really enjoyed. First, from Boom Beauty, which is their Pure Precision Eyeliner in Espresso Brown. This one is going to call out because of the shade. The shade is so unique. It is a light, warm cocoa brown that has a bit of a reddishness in there. It is a lot like a NARS one that I could never remember the name of. But it is such a beautiful shade. It has a bit of red in it and warmth that if you have blue eyes, it's going to really make them pop, or green eyes. It's going to look beautiful. So yeah, and brown eyes. Honestly, it's going to look pretty on everybody. I'm just saying. Blue eyes is really going to make them look blue. This is a wonderful formulation as well. It's long wearing, yet still you're able to have a little playtime with it to do some smudging. It performs beautifully. Really soft, easy to use product. So yeah, that's why this one's in the favorites, because it's such a unique shade and a really solid formulation. Next up from NYX, I have 2 of these actually, but I haven't actually used this one on camera. But this is the Vivid Rich Mechanical Liners from NYX. The shade Quartz Queen. You guys have seen me use this one quite a bit since I got it. I use this in the waterline because it's just enough pink in it and pale enough for me that it doesn't look weird in my waterline. A lot of these kind of like waterline shades that are meant to be brightening are either just too white, or they're too kind of yellow looking, or a little too fleshy. They don't look how my waterline should look. They compete with my skin tone and look kind of funny. This one has enough pink in it that looks nice, and it doesn't look overwhelming and like too much in my waterline. And I really, really enjoy this quite a bit, and it has great wear time. So Quartz Queen, if you're looking for if you're very fair and looking for something just to brighten up the waterline, say if you have like, red eyes, allergy issues, little irritation, something like that. Like my waterline gets a little red from my eye drops sometimes. So this has come in handy. Very much so. And I also have it in this fun green shade that I haven't done something with yet, but it's so pretty. The shades in that range are really nice, but this green is this gorgeous emerald green. So I'm going to have to do something with that. I meant to for Christmas and then just kind of forgot. And also for eyeliner, the Epic Wear Liner Stick from NYX. I have the shades Burnt Sienna and I think Dark Brown is the other shade. I can't quite remember. Either way, both of them are so good. These have very long wearing, like Urban Decay 24/7 glide on pencil formulation. Like these are not going anywhere. They wear so long. You get plenty of playtime to blend them out. And this particular shade is a really good dupe for Pillow Talk liner from Charlotte Tilbury. Yeah, it's just that really deep kind of burgundy color. So very pretty. And the brown one is the perfect deep brown that goes with everything. Like it's just that nice, deep enough to make impact on the eye, but without being as harsh as a black eyeliner. Tons of great shades, and the formulation is just so smooth and creamy. easy to work with, and easy to get your hands on. These are very accessible products. And yeah, I love the brown one. I've used it today on my upper lash line and they just blend like a dream. So yeah, I just wanted to mention these because they are so very good and I found myself reaching for them a lot throughout the year. Now let's talk about some eyeshadow crayons. I'm going to talk about 3 little honorable mentions first. I have to mention this e.l.f. one, even though it's not like the best eyeshadow crayon in the world. It's actually kind of a dud, but I loved using it as an eyeshadow base because it gave just enough glow on the lid, but it wasn't too much, but it was very long wearing and made the most perfect eyeshadow base. And the color, very disappointing. Like, it's almost no color. Like seriously, like there's just hardly anything happening there, right? This is called Rose Gold, which is a very cool tone, kind of pink rather than rose gold in my opinion, but it made such a wonderful eyeshadow base that I'm mentioning it because I used it for that and really liked it as a priming product more than anything else. And it gave just this really nice kind of soft glow to the lid and it wore a long time and just, it looked pretty. It looked pretty under eyeshadows and was a really nice companion product. Same goes for this one from Hard Candy. This is the Prism Play eyeshadow stick in Talk Purple to Me. What a wonderful formula this was. Super long wearing, glides on like a dream. You can blend it. Just very, very pretty product. Really nice eyeliner crayon as well. I think these come in quite a few shades too. I don't think they're called Prism Play anymore. I think they changed the name of them, but they're really nice. So from Maybelline, I picked up one of their newer Tattoo Studio 24/7 eye sticks. And I got the green shade, which I cannot remember what it's called. So I'll have that on the screen. I can't read. It's so dark on here, the writing, I can't read it. But this green is just, oh my goodness. How beautiful is that? And I didn't find these to be too dry or tuggy or anything. They blended really easily. Easy to work with product. Just a beautiful shade all around. This one isn't an honorable mention. This one is actually a favorite because I really just love the shade. I thought it was a great formulation. Again, it's also very accessible because Maybelline, you can get it pretty much everywhere. Maybelline is sold just about, particularly at the drugstores. You can get these and they have quite a few shades, but this green, I could not turn it down. I love green. I need to do more looks featuring this product because it was that good. I did one with this paired up with I Need a Warm for Natasha Denona. I think it was a really cool combo. But I do need to do a look where this is truly like the star of the show. And then my absolute favorites, as far as crayons go for this year, were the Jane Iredale Color Luxe sticks. These are so nice. These are so nice. Long wearing, blend like an absolute dream. If you have mature skin, these are going to be wonderful because they're so easy to work with. They're very delicate on the eyes. They're not harsh by any means. They don't tug at the skin. They're not too much over the top payoff. They're just soft, beautiful, angelic products, if that makes sense. They're delicate. There's a delicateness to them and they are so easy to use and just beautiful, beautiful shade range altogether. I have 5 shades and I thoroughly enjoy them. I think they are so pretty on their own or paired up with an eyeshadow palette. They are just so happy. I'm so happy to have actually gotten these because they perform beautifully and I am very happy with them. And I just think that the color range is very refined, very elegant. And yeah, they're an elegant formulation. They feel high-end. They feel worth the price point and beautiful wear time from them. And they've got a shade for everybody and just all around a 10 out of 10. Wonderful, wonderful product. Just truly like elevated, beautiful aesthetic, style, and color stories. I really like Jane Iredale. I think her stuff is so nice. And these are also infused with some skin-loving ingredients as well. And I do believe they are clean, cruelty-free type of product also. Now, let's talk about eyeshadow palettes. We'll start with the honorable mentions because I have a couple for honorable mentions. First off is Profusion Holiday Palettes. They knocked it out of the park with their holiday palettes this year, particularly with this one right here called Moonlight Magic. Y'all, I love this so much. You can still get this on the website, by the way, and usually it's marked down. You might want to check this out just because it's wonderful quality and really fun color story. Look at this color story. Like, you've got some vibrant fun shades in here and some dark spooky shades. It's wonderful and it performs beautifully. And I just thoroughly enjoyed this palette. Loved every look I created with it. And yeah, it was worth the like $12 that this cost at Walgreens. It was a 10 out of 10 product. And I have to mention that. So this is definitely getting an honorable mention. The only reason it's not a favorite and an honorable mention is because it's just harder to get your hands on. You do have to order it from the Profusion website. But it's so good. It was so, so good. You can still get the year before and like all their limited edition stuff. It's still all available on their website. If you missed something and couldn't find it in the store, it's on there. And usually on Walmart.com also. And the Peanuts collection. Everything from this little collection was beautiful, in my opinion. I got the little vanity set. Everything in it was top tier quality. The eyeshadows were just so good. The shimmers in here, beautiful. I didn't love this one. That was the only dud to me, just because it was a little bit too pink than what I go for. Just as personal preference, what I go for. The formulation was fine, but the shimmers in here were just chef's kiss beautiful. Very similar to like a Nomad Cosmetics or a Huda type of product. Just, I mean, molten, beautiful, metallic. They were so good. And then you had the little green one. Oh, these greens performed beautifully. Beautifully. I didn't use the blue. I didn't get to the blue, but I bet it performs well too. But the shimmer in this one, oh, it was so pretty. So pretty. I loved these, and I reached for them the whole month of December. I was using these little guys on my own with the rest of the collection from the Peanuts vanity set. But yeah, you can still get these too online if you are a collector, and the quality was awesome. So if you just like the colors and want some nice affordable eyeshadows to play with, don't sleep on Profusion. Go to the website. They run 1,000,010 sales on there. You never have to pay full price. My last honorable mention here is the Blend Bunny Longing Palette. The only reason this one's more of an honorable mention is just because I didn't have the opportunity to really dig into this palette as much as I wanted to, because I don't know. I feel like the year just got away from me towards the end here. Through the fall season, that's when I got my hands on this one, thanks to Claire. She generously gave me this palette. And look at these colors. How gorgeous is this? This is just a gothic dream palette of cool tones, swampy tones, murky colors. I love it. These greens in here, phenomenal. This shade right here, girl, so beautiful. I loved every look I created with this palette. I just haven't gotten into like this row yet, really, or this row. So I want to spend some more time with this one. And I think we definitely will. Coming up in these winter months, I think we could do some cool winter looks with this palette. So let me know if you want to see that. I really want to get my fingers into those purples. But yeah, I really enjoyed this palette though. And the quality of the palette itself was phenomenal. Like the formulas, a 10 out of 10. So I'm really interested to try more stuff from Blend Bunny because the formulation of this was wonderful. Moving into the favorites of the year, let's start with some drugstore palettes. These two from Makeup Revolution or Revolution Beauty, whatever the heck their brand is. Don't get me started on that little rant again about the name of the brand and why they have so many different brands underneath their umbrella that all sound the same and they basically make the same products. Just do one thing. Anyway, these palettes. First up, this one's been out for a minute. This is the striped khaki one. I think this has been out for a couple of years now. Don't sleep on this. If you see this at the drugstore, it's a really great price point. The quality of this is wonderful, and it's such a pretty color story. It's really, I think, lovely for fall and spring. You've got these beautiful pinky shades in here, and some kind of mossy greens going on, some golds. It's just really pretty. And there's a soft sweetness to it. And the formula was, again, just a really wonderful formulation. Not that I can swatch it. I'm not a swatching room, or I'd swatch it for you too. The mattes in here, very soft, very blendable, buildable, shimmers, beautiful. Loved every look I created with this little guy. It is wonderful. Judging by the name and the look of the palette, you'd think it would be a dupe of the Khaki Obsession from Huda, Khaki Haze, but they're not really that close in appearance. So they're not a dupe, by the way, if you missed out on Khaki Haze or something from Huda. They're definitely not a dupe, but they are not too far off from one another either. So just to let you know, they're not dupes. They're just happen to be kind of inspired maybe by the other one. It's a beautiful little palette and definitely worth checking out. If you see it at the store and those colors speak to you, go ahead and get it. It's a fun palette. Also, this one from Revolution. This is the Eternal Icon. They came out with a little range called like the Icon palettes that are very... If you took a Patrick Ta palette and mushed it together with a Huda palette, that's kind of what these are doing. Like you got formulations kind of like Huda has in her palettes with the layout and style of the Patrick Ta palettes. One of them is a dupe of a Patrick Ta one completely. But these have about, I think there's 4 or 5 color stories. They are all beautiful, by the way. I really want to get my hands on more of them. I just haven't seen them in store, and then I kind of forgot they existed. But you have 2 creams in here like Patrick Ta does. The creams, yeah, I wouldn't, they're nothing to write home about. They're fine, but they're there. But you have kind of these special shades that are very similar to a Huda shade. Like this one right here had like some kind of a swirly cream thing going on in it. Very much like one in one of her bigger palettes. So pretty. It's so pretty. But you also have these gorgeous greens and topper shades and this gorgeous swirly one right here. Oh, this color. That one. So unique. It is like a ruby type of color with like purple in it. Very, very nuanced. This was a very nuanced little palette. The shimmers in here were beautiful. The mattes were so good. I think the colors are very unique. Like this grassy green right here. Oh, so good. So good. And yeah, this was a great little palette from Revolution. And I think it was about $10, somewhere around that price point. So that's really cool. But yeah, I picked mine up at Target. They had, I think, one of the other color stories at my local Target. But on Ulta's website, they have all the colors. And they're so very pretty. So pretty. And yeah, really outstanding quality. For a drugstore palette, this was a 10 out of 10. When you have a lot of fun textures and formulations in here. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Next up, Urban Decay Naked Original. They re-released this last year fully in the original packaging, everything. They did improve the formula somewhat, but the colors are exactly the same. Look, I didn't get this the first time around because it just didn't appeal to me at that time. I was more into crazy makeup looks back when this was popular. So this actually is more fitting of my style these days. And I think, honestly, this has a wonderful place in the makeup era that we're in. We're a little bit more into the neutral naked looks. So this, I think, was a very timely re-release and definitely has a place in the makeup market these days. And I'm so glad that they sent me this because I didn't realize what I was missing. What a wonderful palette. I have reached for this so much. So much. It is just such an easy, good go-to. You have all these lovely warm tones, some neutrals, some cool tones, and then you've got these really smoky, super cool charcoaly shades up here on the end that are kind of unexpected. This was a great palette. I am so glad that they re-released it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of those things, once you get your hands on it or try it, use it, it's like, oh, I get it. I get it. This is a good palette. So yeah, I'm so glad to have gotten my hands on this one. And it just feels kind of special because it was the first naked palette from 15 years ago. Oh, oh, the nostalgia around this guy. I miss those days. Careers were built around that naked palette. All right, and then Danessa Myricks, the blooming groundwork of blooming romance. I'm telling you, I predicted this palette. After using the original groundwork palette, I was like, this would be so cool if she come out like some blushy tones and this and that. And look, I predicted it. I'm telling you, go back and watch my videos. Anyway, this thing is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If you like these kind of colors, this is a wonderful palette and you will not be disappointed. The pomades in here perform beautifully. I love using them as blushes and lip products, eyeliners, and the powders are so good. They blend like a dream. They're soft, they're velvety. Everything here is just velvety and rich, and just, there's something very luxurious about these formulas that they're satisfying. They're so satisfying. And I don't know what it is about her eyeshadows, but I love the way they smell. They have a smell and it's really nice. And yeah, this color story though is just so beautiful. It is spooky. It is kind of gothy. It's gorgeous. It really is. And very, very useful. If you're a makeup artist, this was probably something that was definitely needed in your kit, to have all these kind of blushy tones for across the board for everyone. Danessa has managed to make artistry products like this somehow meet consumer products so well. Like, she's made the perfect middle ground between like makeup artist pro product and consumer fun products. She's brought the two worlds together so well, and I love this. Like, everything is so well thought out around her palettes and her products. It's not just that the formulas are good, but the aesthetic, the quality of the packaging is good. It's versatile. You can swap things around and move them around, especially like her Lightwork palette, her newest one. The versatility of that is insane. But yeah, I just think this is a very, very luxurious feeling product, and very useful, extremely useful. And I have clearly gotten some use out of this and love it. I love it to pieces. It is just, it's inspiring. When I sit down with her eyeshadows, they make me feel like an artist. They make me want to sit down and paint and just have a blast and feel creative and just play. She's great at being inspirational with her products. There's something about them. They bring out the creativity in you, and they're beautifully made products. So yeah, I love it. Absolutely love this. This was one of my favorite things of 2024. Next up, Huda's Pretty Grunge. This was wonderful. I picked this up, I think, at the end of 2023, moving into 2024, so I didn't really get to use it enough to put it in the favorites from the year before. So throughout 2024 though, I did get my fingers into this quite a bit and have some fun and create some really dramatic grungy looks and some softer everyday looks. I love the mix of cool and warm within this, and the purpley tones. They're very smoky and grungy and glam and just so fun. And there's this really cool black eye gloss. This is still available, by the way, on Sephora's website and Huda's website. This is just such a fun palette. It's another one that brings out the creativity in you. You want to get smoky, you want to go wild with it, and you can also do soft everyday. This palette somehow manages to encompass soft everyday makeup and like going to a rock show makeup. It was wonderful. I loved it and had a blast with it. Do you want to see more looks with Pretty Grunge? Let me know. I also have Icy Nude, and I will be comparing them coming up. I know I keep saying that. It's happening. It's happening. These videos just need to go up first. Anyway, Pretty Grunge, I had a blast with. Next up, as far as just day-to-day, a palette that I reach for an insane amount as well, the 1111 palette from ColourPop. This is such a versatile, just perfect daily go-to kind of palette. This is one of those you don't have to think too much. You've got a nice variety of colors and formulas in here. It's pretty, it's soft. It gives a little bit of I need a nude, a little bit of Natasha Denona Glam. It's just pretty. It's a very classic color story. I thoroughly enjoyed this palette so very much. Very happy to have gotten my hands on it. I mean, I just think the color story is just beautiful. It's soft, it's easy, it's a nice just go-to type of palette at a great price point. So yeah, if you like these types of shades, like some nice neutrals with a little bit of something different to them, like you have some cool tones in here, some warmth. It's very 90s-esque. There's something about it that makes me think of the 90s. There's a lot of just neutral coolness in here with the pops of warm, and somehow it all works together so beautifully. You can get the softest, most angelic looks with this palette, as well as like the most glam, dramatic looks. Again, the versatility is here. It is all around just a 10 out of 10 type of product. Well, maybe an 11 out of 11 type of product. I loved it. Really, really beautiful. And next up is the Natasha Denona Hyper Natural palette. I know this is the most exciting palette in the world, but the amount of use that I got out of this little guy is astounding. You got some really nice versatility here with these shades down here. They are a wonderful formulation. The eyeshadows in here are a really nice formulation. 4 of the 5 are like a satin shimmer shade, like a satin metallic, where they're like a pearl finish. That's what it is. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. They have a beautiful kind of pearl finish to them. They're very buildable. You can apply them as a soft wash, build them up. You can use them in combination with one another. And then this one right here is one of the formulas from the I Need a Nude palette, where it's the Glimmer, wet shine, glimmer, something like that formulation that is just beautiful and is the gorgeous kind of warm champagne color. This is one of those wonderful everyday palettes, like truly, and for travel, this has been amazing for travel because I've gone on a few little trips this year and this has been the perfect little companion because most of my trips have consisted of just like going out of town to go to church or something and needing just soft, pretty makeup. This has been perfect. And the blushes in here, beautiful, surprisingly pigmented and versatile, as well as the bronzers. You can actually go fairly deep with this. Very pigmented products, light hand, and with a particularly with a small brush, these are very easy to use. I like using a small highlighter brush with this palette, and I could get into each of these shades and apply them softly and nicely for every day, and it just performed like a dream. I love this so much. A really standout product for me as an all-in-one kind of face palette. I was surprised by how much I reached for this. Like when I saw it on the website, I wanted it. I was excited about it for some reason, but I didn't think I would use it as much as I did. Like, I mean, look at this. Can you see? This palette got some love. And you can swap these shades out too as well. You can just pop them out. They do have the holes in the back. And you could swap them with anything from her midi palettes will fit. So I thought that was really cool as well. Just such a wonderful palette for travel. I hope she comes out some more of these because I just loved this. It was my go-to anytime I needed to pack or go somewhere or just throw something on without having to think about it at all. This was the go-to. Like, truly. On those busy days I needed to look put together and didn't have time to worry about anything, this was the one. Great mirror as well. Okay, and lastly, Natasha Denona, I Need a Nude and I Need a Warm. These palettes made me so happy throughout this year. I wanted to use them every day. Talk about favorites. I was in love with these palettes. I am in love with these palettes. I want to use them constantly. They are the perfect little pair, but the color stories in here are just, they're beautiful. So here we have the I Need a Nude, which leans more kind of pinky, neutral, cool in shades. And you can see there was a few dupes within the 1111 palette within here. The formulations in here though, truly unique, beautiful formulas. Just, again, an effortless palette. I didn't have to think about the looks I was creating. I could just create a beautiful look no matter what I dipped into and paired up. It worked and looked really nice and just elevated and sophisticated. And again, you can pop these out. You could put them in the travel palette. 10 out of 10. And just the quality of the palette itself, everything about this, wonderful. I love this kind of shadow box situation she had going. This palette, one of the most satisfying things. This might be my number one palette for 2024, was this one. The least exciting palette, really. And then I Need a Warm. How pretty. How pretty is this? This is not orangey warms. These are warm peaches and warm browns and toasty shades. And also like nice neutral colors within. Very, very pretty. And this one again has some unique formulations. There's a dual chrome in here, kind of a multi-chrome. It goes from like green to kind of a vibrant orangey peach. Very pretty. And then the shade down here has like some green flecks in it. So pretty. Very versatile. This has a new formulation in it as well, which is her Slip Cream. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful formula. It is truly like a slippy, silky cream to powder formulation. Oh, I cannot wait to see what else she does with that formula because it is beautiful. It is this shade down here, and it just, it feels so good to touch. Like, I don't know how to describe how nice that shade feels. But yeah, if you like warm, neutral, kind of a go-to eyeshadow, like this is Mocha Mousse right here, girl. This is beautiful. Such a beautiful palette. I loved it so very much. I was so excited to get my hands on this one. These two right here are the number one and number two palettes of 2024 for me. I want to use them every single day. They're just the very pleasing palettes all around. Like, I love them. Love them so much. I've become pretty much, my favorite brands have become Natasha Denona as far as for eyeshadows go. Natasha, Huda, ColourPop, Danessa Myricks. Those are my favorites, really. But man, I just really had a great time with the Natasha Denona products this year. So yeah, okay, and that is everything for eyes that I loved in 2024 that I wanted to reiterate how much I love them to you guys. Let me know if you've used any of these products down below, what you think of them, what is your favorites. I can't wait to just like use these palettes all over again. Like looking at them now, I'm like, I want to keep playing with these. Like I don't even want to get new palettes. I want to keep digging into these, diving into them, and loving them because they were that good. And honestly, I didn't realize I tried as many products as I did throughout 2024. I feel like I was kind of like, I definitely wasn't like buying a ton of stuff, I don't feel like, or consuming a lot, but I think the stuff that I just brought in to my collection, the majority of it, if not all of it, was things that I just really loved and enjoyed and had a great time using. So I think that's why I had so many favorites this year that I wanted to talk about, is because it wasn't so much that I tried a ton of products. It was the products I did try, I loved. And I had a really hard time narrowing this down, hence the honorable mentions. Yeah, I also decided to divide these up this year into just an eye video, and then we'll do blush, bronzer, highlight in a video, and then lips, and yeah, skincare and hair care. We're going to have a whole week of favorites. That's what we're going to call it. It's just favorites week. And yeah, okay. Let me know what you think down below. And if you've used any of these products, how you feel about them. What are your favorites from 2024? What are you looking forward to in 2025 as far as eye products go? Like, what do you want to see trending? What are you excited about? What type of products are you wanting to get into for the coming, or for this year of 2025? Like, what's exciting you? Personally, I just want to keep using these palettes, like I said, and I picked up Icy Nude, and I got the Natasha Denona Golden palette, so I'm really just looking forward to playing with those and doing more content with not so much just new, but just loving what we have, enjoying it, appreciating it, shopping our stash, and giving inspiration. That's what I want to do this year. So anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your 2020. I hope you had a good 2024. Despite the memes, we're gonna ignore the memes talking about everything being terrible. Okay. I hope that your 2024 was nice, and that moving in 2025 things get even better for you, and that it is a good year. And we're not gonna joke about negativity. We're not gonna make any of that kind of dark humor anymore. No, we're not gonna put that out in the world. We're just gonna put out pure positivity and love, and see how that works out. Because I think our cynical humor is not panning out very well now, is it? So maybe we should try something new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.